Hi, my name is Alice Vincent and I'm a writer and a gardener, and I have taught myself how to grow in the smallest of spaces in the biggest of cities over the past 10 years. And as a result, I know that you don't need as much knowledge or as much space as you think to get gardening. Over the last few years, we've all become aware of how great houseplants can be at home. We love their tropical foliage, we love how beautiful they can look in a corner of a room. But I think that there is more that we can get from growing indoors. There are ways that we can interact with plants inside our home that can give us greater connection to the seasons, help us better understand our diet, and make us aware of how closely we need to interact with nature to really benefit from growing things. That's why today I'm going to talk you through 3 houseplants with benefits. And they might be a little unusual from your classic understanding of a houseplant, but I think by the end you'll want to start growing them at home yourself. So, first up, pelargoniums. These are often known as geraniums. Pelargoniums have kind of been in the fashion doldrums for a while now. People think of them as your grandma's plant, but that is exactly why I love them. They remind me of my grandfather's greenhouse, and the smell is so transportative. Beyond that, I think they're just incredibly chic anyway, and it's high time they had a comeback. The great thing that a lot of people don't realise about pelargoniums is how easy they are to grow inside. They're a very tolerant houseplant. As long as they have quite a bit of sunlight, they will forgive your spotty watering and they'll come back with a vengeance every spring. They also propagate very well. That means you can make cuttings from them by taking a chunk off a more established plant, popping that in water and allowing it to root, and then you'll end up with another new plant to start with in the new year. The one thing that people don't necessarily know about pelargoniums is that you can make a fantastic addition to your cocktail cabinet from them. I wish you could get a whiff of this one. It's called Attar of Roses and it smells just like Turkish Delight. It's amazing. And it's exactly that beautiful flavour that you will be able to distill into a rose water syrup. You just need a handful of leaves. I often use the ones that look a little worse for wear because pelargoniums do shed their leaves quite often in order to grow. But you can use the fresh, crisp, beautiful leaves too. Add those to some water and some sugar. Let it steep for about 10 minutes. And then before you'll know it, you'll have this incredible, very flavourful cordial that you can add to your soft drinks or your cocktails. It's such a unique taste of summer, even in the depths of winter. So thinking about the seasons is very important with these beneficial houseplants, and that's why I've got a salad bowl here. And this is planted up in a very beautiful self-watering container, but as long as you have something that has drainage, you can make this at home with whatever you've got around. People might think that salads are something that you need to grow in an outside space, and it's true that if you want a lot of lettuce to regularly eat, you will need to grow that outdoors, but that doesn't mean that you can't create an indoor salad bowl full of beautiful and surprising edible plants that you can have in the middle of your dinner table and really surprise your guests when they come round. There's something very convivial and very connecting to nature about being able to eat right from the table, and that's what you can do with this salad bowl. So you might be surprised to see some of these flowering plants on here, but you can eat them too. I've got some flowering oregano, some chives, and one of my favourite edible plants, a viola, which is a great addition to floating on top of a glass or decorating a cake with. We've also got the more traditional lettuce leaves going on. But really, you can put in here whatever you want to eat, from herbs to more unusual salad leaves. Another flowering plant that would be great in here is a nasturtium. So nasturtiums are one of my absolute favourites. They are incredible because you can eat every single bit of the plant. So you can eat the flowers, you can eat those gorgeous giant lily pad leaves, and most amazingly, you can eat their seed pods. They will grow big and fat, and you can put them in a jar and turn them into capers, and that peppery punch of the leaves will come through in those as well. It's a wonderful way of really benefiting from everything the plant has to offer. Of course, if you didn't want to caper those seeds and you decided to leave them on the plant, you could just let them dry out and they will self-seed, and you'll end up with nasturtiums next year too. Seasonality again comes through in our third house plant with benefits, and this is a microgreens bowl. And microgreens are more amazing for what they represent as much as what they can add to your plate, although undeniably they make an incredible garnish. What's so beautiful about microgreens is that you can grow them from seed in about a week. And that's what we've got here. We've got some growing and we've got some that are ready to harvest. We've got everything from mustard and coriander to some rocket. Pretty much any established plant that you like in its full size, from broccoli to basil, you can grow as a microgreen, and that flavour is going to be much more intense. The reason why it's important to grow them is because you can connect yourself with that freshest of homegrown produce without bringing in any plastic from the outside world, without bringing any of those food miles. You can grow it right here on your table. This is obviously a beautiful glass planter, but the thing with microgreens is, as long as you're quite careful with your watering, you could do it in a baking tray, on a piece of paper. They really are that simple. Light and water. And that means that you can grow microgreens even in the depths of winter. It's a beautiful way to connect you to growing your own food. If you've never done it outside before, it's a great way to start and realise that growing something that you can eat and being in tune with the seasons is easier than you think. There we have it. 3 houseplants with benefits. They're not your classic examples of a houseplant, but they're undeniably something that can connect us with the outside world and make us think a little bit more about how we live with nature.